You are selling bottles of water for $2 each, but your neighbor has set up a store next door and started selling for $1 each bottle. All the customers are only buying from him, but you need to make money. You could wait until he goes to the toilet and destroy his stand, but you could end up going to jail. You could also lower the prices to 90 cents, but each bottle of water cost you 95 cents, so you would end up losing money. Your best option is to buy all of his bottles for $1. Your neighbor closes the stand because he has no more bottles, but you raise the price to $5 each and you become a millionaire.
A doctor removed the cap of a pen from a patient's ear. The man had been using a pen to scratch the inside of his ear, and the cap got stuck inside. But another patient always heard strange sounds when moving his mouth, and when the doctor examined his ear, he found a very small tooth hidden inside. But an even stranger patient complained that he felt his ear was burning. The doctor removed a battery from his ear which was leaking liquid acid. If you're stupid and want to tattoo your girlfriend's name, don't do it. When she leaves you, your next girlfriend will get angry. If you're getting bullied, punch the leader. It's very likely they'll beat you up, but they'll think you're very brave and will respect you. If you're in a pool and see a kid drowning, don't help. The kid will grab you, and if you don't know how to swim, you'll both drown. If you're filthy and don't brush your teeth, go to the dentist as soon as possible. You have bugs living in your mouth and you'll lose all your teeth. Even if you're dying of thirst, never drink your own pee. If the bacteria enter your stomach, you could die from poisoning. Instead, find a cactus and drink carefully. If you see men with long beards and black backpacks, run away as fast as you can. They are terrorists with bombs hidden in their clothes. If you're lost on Mount Everest and you're short on food, empty the whole bag. Cold preserves food much better and it won't rot. If you're stupid and get lost in a dangerous neighborhood, don't turn around and keep walking. If you turn around, criminals will know you're not from the area and will kill you.
Your poor friend's parents invite you to sleep over at their house. Do this so you don't look ridiculous. Hide your iPhone 19 before get in. Say hello to the whole family. Don't take pictures of the house or ask why their car has no wheels. And be careful. If you notice a bad smell, don't say nothing. The family could get upset. At dinner, don't ask for seconds even if they offer. You might be taking food away from another family member. On the other hand, you might be surprised that the bathroom is outside. Remember that they may not have toilet paper, so bring extra socks and don't touch anything else besides the door. Finally, never open the windows after midnight. It's very likely that a thief could break in and steal everything, leaving the family in ruins. If you are in a dangerous bathroom and need to poop, always leave one foot out of your pants. If someone tries to attack you, you'll be able to stand up and defend yourself against the thief. If you are going to declare your love in a public place, do not choose your favorite restaurant. If they reject you, you will look ridiculous and you will never want to go back there. If you are at a dinner and choke while eating, don't try to leave the table silently to avoid embarrassment. A lot of people die because they don't ask for help. It's better to just make the universal sign that you are choking. If you are going to travel by plane, always take a picture of your suitcase before takeoff. If the suitcase gets damaged along the way, you will have proof and they will give you a new suitcase. Where did colors come from? The color orange got its name from the fruit and not the other way around. 5,000 years ago, Egyptians started to call the precious stone blue, and the name was used for things of that color. 1,000 years ago in Japan, green and blue were called the same. Oh, they still confuse it today. That's why traffic lights in Japan are red, yellow, and blue. Purple was the first color created synthetically. A chemist created it by accident while mixing medicines. Pink was named after the flower, and only rich women used it in the 17th century. It was created by diluting the red of other pigments, and people only considered it a light red.
If your ex-girlfriend is destroying your car, this is what you need to do. Try to calm her down by saying something nice. If she's really angry, use force to defend your car without hitting her or hurting her. But if she has a weapon, don't get close. Instead, record it all with your phone and call the police. If she breaks anything on your car, she'll have to pay for it. Destroying someone's property is a serious crime, and she'll have to cover all the repair costs and could even end up in jail. But what if the car was a gift from your ex? If she gave you the car, but now she's mad at you because you cheated on her, you have to check whose name is on the car's paperwork. If it's in her name, it doesn't matter that she gave it to you. She can destroy it without a problem.
If your neighborhood isn't safe because of kidnappings, always hold your keys in your hand. They'll be like a brass knuckle and you will do double damage. If you have an accident and break your hands, scream at the top of your lungs, ambulance, 911, to get your phone to dial for assistance. Don't forget to check the back seats of your car before you start the engine. Criminals often stay hidden behind so they can kidnap you without warning. If you're lost in the open sea, float on your back and use your watch to reflect light. The ships will see the flashing light and come to rescue you.
If you're a slob and you don't wash your hair, cut it off right now. Your hair is rotted and it's the perfect home for lice. If you're being bullied and you're afraid of dying, punch them from behind. If you kill them, they won't bully you anymore. If they kill you, they won't bully you anymore. If you go in your house and there are thieves robbing, lock the door and burn the house down. If the thieves escape, the police will only have to look for suspects with burns on their skin. If you're an idiot and you put cutlery inside the microwave, get out of there as soon as possible. If the waves touch the metal, your entire house will explode. Your teacher announces the best and worst grades from the last exam. It turns out you got the best one. This is what you did. During university, I decided to try a trick called memory. I took my notes, and the night before an exam, I reviewed all the material for 30 minutes. Then I put away the notes, took out a blank sheet, and wrote down everything I could remember. When I finished, I used a red pen to write down everything I had forgotten. I repeated the process until I memorized everything and subscribed to BigDanBaby. Foods that were invented by accident. In the 20th century, a 16-year-old boy worked at his father's restaurant, and one day he left a burger on the grill for too long, and it burned. To try to fix it, he put a piece of cheese on top, and that's how the first cheeseburger was born. Now, chocolate chip cookies. A woman was making chocolate-flavored cookies for her son when she ran out of cocoa powder, so she improvised and added pieces of chocolate into the dough, thinking they would melt. But they didn't melt, and they turned out perfect. These are two foods invented by accident. First, French fries. In 1853, a chef was fed up with customers complaining about how he cooked the potatoes, so as revenge, he decided to cook them much more than usual. But the plan backfired because when he did it, people love how they turned out. Second, cheese. More than 4,000 years ago, an Arab merchant was carrying milk during a very long journey and decided that the best thing was to store it inside a goat's stomach. But with the heat and the liquids that stomach contained, the milk turned into cheese, and it became famous all over the world. How long would you survive if you only ate these foods? If you only ate hot sauce, you'd last only 5 days because your stomach would basically melt from the strong acid. If you only ate chocolate, you could last about 1 or 2 months. It has a few nutrients, but ironically, you'd die from malnutrition and severe diabetes. If you only ate instant noodles, you'd survive around a year. They have a ton of salt, which would turn your heart into a ticking time bomb. If you only ate chicken nuggets, you'd live around 15 years since the fried breading is full of bad cholesterol. But if you only ate Big Macs, you could last about 20 years because they actually have many nutrients, but not the best kind. Lastly, if you only ate pizza, you'd survive around 30 years, but it's just dough and greasy stuff, so you'd die really overweight.
A woman found an AirTag in her purse and started panicking in fear. She started wondering who had hidden it there and why she was being followed. Scared, she called Alex, one of her best friends. He arrived within minutes and calmed her down, telling her everything was fine. Taking the AirTag from the hands of her friend, he googled how to destroy it and found that smashing it with a hammer was the best option. The two went to the backyard and the man smashed the AirTag, helping the woman calm down, but only for now.
You fall asleep on an IKEA sofa and the store closes. Do this to survive. Avoid the cashier areas and employee offices. That's where most of the cameras are, and they'll think you broke in to steal. If you get hungry, go to the food area. There's a lot of food that's impossible to eat, but there are also hundreds of sandwiches that you don't have to cook. If you get cold, go to the blanket section and put them all on, even though you'll look like a Viking. If you get bored, you can go to the video game area and play until you get tired. But if you hear strange noises, don't make any sound. A little girl died in IKEA and her ghost still haunts the place. You're afraid to sleep alone and the beds are awful. Build a fort with the boxes between the aisles so the employees won't bother you the next morning. If there's an earthquake and you get trapped, don't scream. Instead, pee on yourself, so the rescue dogs can find you by the smell. If you go to the bathroom and see that your urine is red, go see a doctor. Your stomach has become infected and you are bleeding internally. If you commit a crime and are placed under house arrest, become a homeless person. They can't keep you locked up in your house if you don't have a house. If you're sleeping and see a toilet in your dream, don't use it. When you wake up, you will have peed yourself.
Your teacher announces the best and worst grades from the last test. It turns out you got the highest grade. Here's what you did. When I was in college, I decided to try a trick called memory. I took my notes, and the night before a test, I went over my own notes for 30 minutes. Then I put away my notes. I grabbed a new piece of paper and wrote down all I could remember. When I finished, I used a red pen to fill the blanks with everything I had missed. I repeated the process until I knew everything and subscribed to BigDanBaby.
If you're stupid and bite your tongue while eating spicy food, run to drink lots of water. The spice has burned the wound and you could lose your tongue. If you notice lots of graffiti in the same color, get out of there as soon as possible. You've probably entered a dangerous gang neighborhood. If a dangerous thief tries to rob you, throw your own stuff as far as possible. Thieves are usually stupid and they'll forget about you. If you're a slob and stain your pants while peeing, wet your pants with even more water. People will think you just got wet while washing your hands.
A woman spilled a McDonald's coffee on her legs in 1992. At that time, McDonald's served its coffee at the dangerous temperature of 90 degrees Celsius, and therefore just 10 degrees Celsius away from boiling. Due to the heat, the woman needed skin grafts and was hospitalized for 8 days because of the burn. But this wasn't the only coffee-related accident, as McDonald's had received over 700 complaints about its dangerously hot coffee. The company faced a major public scandal and finally decided to lower the temperature of its coffee.
If you're under house arrest, here's what happens. First, they'll put an ankle monitor on your leg and confine you to a specific area, like your house. You are required to work to pay the daily $20 for the use of the monitor. On the other hand, if you break the monitor, you'll have to pay for a new one and pay $3,000. But if you intentionally don't charge your monitor so the battery dies, the police will come looking for you and could take you to a real prison. Finally, if you try to leave your house even by a meter, the monitor will send a signal to the nearest police station, and since they have your exact location, they will send several officers to kindly ask you why you are not at home.
If you are in your house during the night and a thief comes in to steal, turn off the lights. You know your house inside much better than the thief does. If you're completely lost in the desert, don't go and drink your own urine. You will only get even more dehydrated. If you've been kidnapped, you can call 911 and pretend you are ordering a pizza. The policemen will notice the clue and they'll come to save you. If you're on the beach and the water begins to recede, get out of there as soon as possible. A great tsunami is approaching.
If you are lost in the desert, look for dead leaves and plants. If you start a fire, you won't freeze to death during the night. If some homeless people ask you for money, move your hands and make deaf sounds. Since they don't know sign language, they won't attack you. If you are in World War III, never take off your helmet. If you get shot, you will die anyway. But if they throw a grenade, the helmet will protect you from the debris. If you are lost on a desert island, but you are an idiot and don't know how to make fire, catch raw fish and make sushi. First remove the bacteria and then eat carefully.
If you're at home alone at night and a thief breaks in to rob you, turn off the lights. You know the inside of your house much better than the thief does. If you're completely lost in the desert, don't even think about drinking your own urine. You will only get more dehydrated. If you've been kidnapped, you can call 911 and pretend that you're ordering a pizza. The police will immediately understand and they'll come to save you. If you're at the beach and the water starts receding fast, get out of there as soon as possible. A massive tsunami is coming.
A man noticed that food was mysteriously disappearing from his house. Worried it might be a thief stealing from him, he installed security cameras. One day, the cameras detected movement while he was out of the house. He called the police and they searched the entire house, but they didn't find any sign of a break-in. Then, they looked in a small storage space above his wardrobe, and to their surprise, they found a 58-year-old woman living inside. She had lived in that hiding spot for over a year, with a mattress to sleep on and plastic bottles for water. While the man was out, she would leave the hiding spot to eat his food and use the bathroom.
How to avoid being called to present in class when you have nothing prepared. The worst thing you can do is to look down and play dumb. If you look nervous, they will choose you. Pretend to review your notes quietly while secretly asking ChatGPT for a presentation on the topic. It will buy you some time and the teacher will see that you are interested in the class. If the teacher finally calls on you, it is best to reply, "Just let me organize my points. Start with someone else and I'll go next." If you are lucky, the class will end before you have to present. If everything fails, fake a stroke and everyone will forget about the topic. If we divide the world by genders, men and women would be separated at birth, but each zone would have only one baby of the opposite gender. In the land of all men, they would soon develop a protective instinct. Everything would start to function like an anthill. All the men protect the woman with their own lives. Soon they would make the woman their queen and become her personal army. In the woman land, they would realize that the man is very strong and would force him to carry out the heaviest work. The women would fight among themselves to see who finally gets the strong man. Wars would soon arise among the women, causing the man to lose his mind. If the woman disappeared, the men would lose their sole purpose in life and would end up dying sadly. If the man suddenly disappeared, the women wouldn't be bothered at all. The women would look for another way to do the heavy work and would keep fighting among themselves until they destroyed each other. Toys that have saved lives. In 2016, a couple of children were playing with water guns when the building where they lived caught fire. They loaded their water guns and started spraying water directly onto the fire. When the firefighters arrived, the fire was practically extinct. In 2017, a wife grabbed a knife to attack her husband. The man grabbed his lightsaber and defended himself from the attacks, escaping the scene without a single scratch. In 2020, a little girl was playing with her toy car in the backyard. When a raccoon suddenly appeared and attacked her, she hit it with the toy car and managed to escape with no harm. How many bites from these animals would kill you? If a spider bit you, it would have to bite you more than 50 times to send you to the grave. It would give you a fever, hallucinations, and total paralysis. With bees, about 800 stings would be needed. You would go blind, swell up like a ball, and the venom would suffocate you until it killed you. For ants to kill you, they would have to sting you about 2,000 times. To have an anaphylactic shock, meaning you would feel like you're being burned alive. With a scorpion, a single sting would be enough to finish you off, but with 5 stings, you'd only have about 30 minutes to live. Finally, a crocodile. It all depends on where it bites you, but on average, with only 2 bites, you would go to the afterlife, though it would keep biting you. If you are lost in the ocean, do not drink the seawater. You will vomit and become instantly dehydrated. If you are lost in the mountains, look for plants and hide in a cave. If you make a fire, you won't die of cold during the night. If you are a loser and are being bullied, make friends with a homeless person. Homeless people are crazy and they will defend you from the bullies. If you are in a place you don't know and no one is using their phone, don't be an idiot and hide your phone. You're in a dangerous neighborhood and the thieves will rob you. These are the 3 strangest things that people have ever found. First, the red diamond. A miner in Brazil found it inside a mine. It weighed just 3 grams, but it had an incredible value of $20 million. Second, in 2015, a woman was walking along a beach in Germany and found a mysterious bottle. Inside was a message from 1906 that promised a cash reward to whoever returned it to the Institute of Biology. Finally, a Colombian farmer came across some small blue barrels in his field. As he got closer, he realized that they had probably belonged to Pablo Escobar. When he unearthed them, he discovered over $600 million in cash. If you are always tired and sleepy, eat a lot of meat. Digestion will force you to stay awake and you will have infinite energy. If you are dying of thirst and find dirty water, look for bamboo canes. If you filter the water through the hole in the canes, you will get drinking water. If you find a sleeping bear, don't make a sound. If it wakes up, it will be hungry and you'll be its breakfast. If you are dying of thirst but you feel the urge to pee, go to a doctor fast. You have a kidney stone that will kill you.
If you want to eat for free at a restaurant, go with a friend and fake a fight right after eating. The waiters will kick you out of the restaurant and you won't have to pay. If you try to pay but your card gets declined, pretend to call the bank very angrily. Other people will think it's the bank's fault and not that you're broke. Put a sticker that says baby on board on your car in case you have an accident. Firefighters will think there's a baby in your car and rescue you first. If you want to buy luxury items, pay with your credit card and then throw it into a lake. Now, tell the bank it was stolen. Even if they cancel the card, you'll keep everything. If an alligator bites you, it will start to do a death roll, spinning its own body violently to rip off your leg. To survive, you should try to roll in the same direction as the alligator. If you have a free arm, aim for the alligator's eyes, or try to punch its nose. And if none of that works, play dead. Alligators often stop biting their prey when it's dead, which will give you a chance to escape. If you're in danger but can't speak, call 911 and stay on the line without hanging up. They'll track your location even if you say nothing and they'll send help. If you want to know if your breath smells bad, lick your wrist, let it dry and smell your own breath. If a pretty girl comes up to ask for your number, remember, you're too ugly for that to be real and they're probably just filming a prank video. When you go to McDonald's or Burger King, say it's your birthday and they'll give you free ice cream.
If you're completely stuck on a desert island, do not drink the water from the brown coconuts. They have some oils that will quickly dehydrate you. Instead, look for green coconuts about to fall. If someone comes up and asks for the time, don't look at it on your mobile phone. It's a trick used by many criminals to steal all your stuff. If someone takes a photo and your eyes are fully white, run quickly to the nearest doctor. There's a good chance you have cancer. If you're on the beach and you notice a purple flag, get out of the water quickly. There are very dangerous animals that could eat you.
If you're lost and have nothing to eat, don't try to hunt wild animals. They move too fast and you'll burn so much energy that you'll die of exhaustion. If you see footprints at your doorstep, grab a rock before going inside. An assassin is waiting inside to kill you. If you're walking at night and someone calls out to you, don't turn around. It's a group of gang members looking for a fight. If you're stupid and never make your bed, throw your mattress in the trash. It's full of dirty bugs that will rot your skin. Unethical ways to make money. Start working as a food delivery person and buy yourself some crutches. Then pick up some orders and start delivering them. When you make the delivery, walk up to the door pretending it's very hard for you to move with the crutches. The person will feel very sorry seeing you struggle and give you a big tip out of pity.
People who can eat the same thing every day. In 2019, a man ate a yogurt that had expired about 6 months ago, and he liked it so much that he decided to eat only expired things for a year. The strangest thing is that he survived. Bear Scott has only been eating potato chips for 26 years. At every meal, on average, he eats about 6,000 bags of chips a year, and he says he feels sick just thinking about eating anything else. Finally, Kurt Gödel was so afraid of being poisoned that he only ate what his wife cooked. But one day she got sick and had to go to the hospital for several months, so he decided not to eat during that whole time, and he died of starvation.
If you're cooking and the frying pan catches on fire, don't pour water on it. You'll only make the fire spread much faster. Instead, cover it with a damp cloth. If you're in a museum and a piece of art falls near you, don't try to catch it or put it back, even if it's intact. If it breaks when you touch it, you will owe a lot of money. If you're in a library and pick up a very old book, never lick your fingers to turn the page. There could be ancient poison between the pages. If you get stung by a jellyfish, don't try to pee on the wound. That'll only make the pain worse. Instead, soak it in seawater and run to the hospital.
If you're trapped in the trunk of a vehicle, immediately start searching for the fluorescent emergency hatch. If you don't see the latch, don't panic. Trunks don't seal off the air completely, so there's absolutely no danger of suffocation. Try feeling around the edges of the trunk for other handles to release the back seats of the car. As a last resort, try to kick out one of the brake lights. This small opening will give you a chance to signal for help.
The fastest runner in the world. A runner got in a portable toilet in the middle of a marathon. He stayed inside for 2 minutes while the other runners passed by. Then someone from the staff knocked on the door and the runner came out running much faster than before. He was going so fast that he passed everyone until he reached the top 10. However, he had always been a very bad runner, which is why the press believed he was using illegal substances to win. The runner finished in 9th place. They ran blood tests on him. He came out completely clean. In the end, the trick was discovered by a journalist who returned to the portable toilet and saw the same runner still inside. They were actually twin brothers.
If you find yourself in a car that's dangling off a cliff, the smartest thing to do is to stay completely still. If the car stabilizes, unbuckle your seatbelt without making any sudden movements. Many people would try to open the door and escape. However, doing so would probably cause instability and make the car fall. Instead, try to roll down the windows and carefully redistribute your weight to the back seats. When you find yourself in a stable position, crawl out of the car as slowly as you can.
If you are going out of the subway but your backpack gets stuck in the door, don't waste time trying to pull it out. Focus on letting go of your backpack or it will drag you to your death. If you are at the movies and a thief is recording the film, don't insult him. Instead, show your phone screen with his seat number. That way, the thief's number will be recorded in the film and the police will be able to arrest him. If you are getting a haircut and feel the urge to sneeze, be careful and don't move. If you make a sudden movement, they could cut off one of your ears. If you're going to buy a suit for your wedding, tell the sales assistant that the suit is for working as a waiter and not for your wedding. It'll be much cheaper because it's not a wedding suit.
If you're being bullied and they always steal your food, put laxatives inside the food. They'll get terrible diarrhea and won't steal from you again. If you're stupid and you fall asleep on the bus, hug your backpack while you sleep. Thieves won't be able to steal from you. If you go to a dangerous neighborhood, don't look at or greet anyone. Criminals will think you're looking for trouble and they'll kill you. If there's a blackout in your neighborhood, don't turn on the faucet. It's very likely that a wire has snapped and you could die electrocuted. If you try to push a great white shark back into the ocean, it could turn and bite you easily. This is because its jaw is designed to bite from the side, allowing it to catch any nearby prey. Instead, help it breathe by pouring water over its gill. Now, stand behind its fins where it can't reach you, and slowly push it back into the water. As soon as it starts to move, get out of the way as fast as possible before it turns toward you.
If a single kernel of corn accidentally gets into your nose, many people think that a plant could start growing, meaning that you would literally grow a corn cob in your nose. This is obviously nonsense, but a 4-year-old kid accidentally inhaled a bean that totally got stuck in one of his nasal cavities. Since the nasal passage is a warm and moist place, it was the ideal environment for the bean to germinate. A few days later, the seed began to sprout until doctors managed to safely remove it.
If you have a motorcycle accident, do not take off your helmet by yourself. If your neck is broken, you could accidentally rip off your head. If you're walking through the jungle and see an animal with fluorescent colors, run as fast as you can. Colorful animals usually have venom that can kill you in seconds. If you want to know if a battery is charged, drop it onto a metal table. If it bounces several times, it's out of power. If you're in a public bathroom and you touch the mirror, but there's no space between your finger and the reflection, leave immediately. It's a fake mirror and someone is recording you. In 2013, a boy injured his knee and a snail got inside the wound. But the snail egg began to hatch inside the injury, and a few days later his knee began to swell. The doctors thought that it was just a minor infection, but the antibiotics weren't healing the wound. A few days later, his mother noticed a strange black lump and decided to pop it. But to her surprise, a tiny snail calmly crawled out of his knee. If you're stupid and you keep all your batteries in the same drawer, separate them right now. If one battery breaks, it will create a bomb and your house will explode. If there's a blackout in your city and the power goes out, don't leave your house. Thieves will take advantage of the chaos to rob and kill. If you're in a pool and the water tastes like metal, get out of there fast. A wire has short-circuited and you could die from electrocution. If you run out of gas in the middle of nowhere and have no cell service, build a fire using the tires. The smoke will be visible from miles away and firefighters will come.
If you're going to school, but a superhero is fighting a supervillain, don't get inside the car. The superhero will use your car as a weapon, and you'll be crushed and die. If you're an idiot and you're vegan, never go into the woods. If you get lost, you will have to hunt for survival, and you'll starve to death. If you are stuck in World War III, forget about posting TikTok. The Chinese will hack your phone's location, and they'll kill you. If you don't have drinking water, use your shirt as an emergency filter. Even if the fabric doesn't kill bacteria, you will remove the mud from the water. If you get stabbed with a really big knife, do not remove it unless it is blocking an airway passage. The knife will help you not lose a lot of blood while sealing the wound. If you are being chased by a poisonous snake, stomp the ground violently with your feet. The vibrations in the ground will make it think they are a bear's footsteps, and it'll get scared. If you're attacked by a shark, kick its eyes and nose really hard with your legs. That's their weakest spot, and you will buy time to escape. If you're completely trapped inside a mall with no electricity, look for colored crayons. They will burn easily and work as candles.
If everything goes silent and a lot of animals start running aimlessly, it means an earthquake is about to start. If a car bumps your trunk lightly, don't stop the car to talk to the driver. They could be criminals who crash on purpose to steal all your money. If someone offers you a free perfume to smell on the street, cover your nose and don't breathe. It's actually chloroform to knock you unconscious and kidnap you without drawing attention. If your house starts smelling like rotten eggs for no reason, turn off all the appliances in your house. There's a gas leak, and if you light a lighter, you'll be blown to pieces. 3 totally crazy ways that criminals escape the police. A man named Richard used lip balm to free himself from his handcuffs, rubbing the lip cream on his wrists. That way, Richard managed to reduce the friction between the handcuffs and his skin. But the next criminal wasn't so smart. He escaped by leaping out the window like a madman. And this craziness actually helped him run away and fool the police. But the next escape is even more unbelievable. Richard broke out of prison again and hid in a forest, avoiding the police for hours. But a police officer found him and ordered him to stop. The criminal made up a fake name, convinced the officer he was just a regular runner, and walked off laughing as he tricked the cop. Imagine you rob a bank and get a huge amount of money, but you have a big problem. You can't spend that money because the police will ask you where you obtained it. Since dirty bills must be laundered before spending them, this is what you must do. You open a small hamburger stand and sell some real burgers, but every day you will lie about how many burgers you have sold. Each day you will say that you sell 50 burgers, even though in reality you only sell 1. Now you add all the stolen money pretending it comes from your business. If someone asks you where you got the money, you tell them it came from your business and show the fake evidence. But if you're an idiot, sooner or later the police will notice that the numbers don't match and they'll lock you up for money laundering. If you could know everything in the world, at first it would be incredible. Just by thinking about it, you'd know every secret and every hidden truth. No one could lie to you. You'd know every answer before they even ask you. You'd discover betrayals from loved ones and what everyone really thinks of you. You'd know when your friends, your parents, and even you yourself would die. Sleeping would be impossible. The voices, the data, everyone's thoughts would haunt you day and night. You would go crazy and be unable to endure so much knowledge. You would have to clear your mind and meditate so you wouldn't die from a heart attack. One day you'd think about how to use your power, and you'd reveal secrets that would change governments, expose corrupt politicians, and prevent wars. Everyone would be afraid of you, but they would also love you. You'd become a hero and a villain at the same time, building a world in balance. If you're lost in the forest, follow these 5 rules to survive. First, don't move. The rescue team will only look for you where you were last seen, not where you might have gone. Second, look for water. You can survive 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. But before drinking it, you have to filter it. Fold your t-shirt 4 times and pour the water through it. This way you'll eliminate dirt, bugs, and bacteria. Third, signal SOS. Make 3 signals of anything repeatedly. 3 flashlight flashes, 3 loud whistles, or even 3 fires. Fourth, build a shelter. Use branches, stones, and bushes. Put it all together, and above all, make sure the roof doesn't fall down. Finally, make a fire. Rub a stick repeatedly against dry leaves on top of a log. When smoke comes out, blow on it while you keep rubbing. Fire is useful for warming up boiling water and, most importantly, attracting the attention of rescuers.